favorite piece of gear. What's your favorite? If you had just one piece that you're like, man, I love that thing, what would it be?
Wow.
I know.
It's hard. Like tactical gear?
Anything. That one, it can be the one little thing that you still look at. I have a couple of things that I look at and I go, you know what? I don't use it, but I'm never getting rid of it. It's just the favorite little thing that I don't know, for some reason I'll save these little favorites even though I'm not currently using them.
So, I have stuff from around everywhere in this room, but I
Yeah.
would say one of my coolest things is, so these Washitashis were handmade by Kiku in Japan. And he made these dual swords, and I had to travel to Tokyo, on the outskirts of Tokyo, and go to his hometown where Oda Nobunaga, the daimyo that killed the ninjas, right? He resided there, and then they make swords there. And Kiku designed this blade, and it's freaking heavy. Look at it.
It looks, yeah, that's some thick gauge.
So he designed his blade. I went to his house, very traditional Japanese style house. I had to get into a suit, and he handed me Heaven and Earth dual swords.
Damn.
And what's really unique about these cool swords is they made it to the video game, Heaven and Earth. So I said, that because it holds a lot of significant meaning to me.
Yeah, that's cool. Now the short ones, now that go through, what's the naming? The long sword, and you've got the short, and then you've got that one, right? Those are the three?
Yeah, so you have
the katana is your...
So this is a 500 plus year old Tashi. And you look at the Tashi sword, is more of a cavalry type of bend.
Yeah. Look at how long the handles are though back then, huh?
So cool.
Yeah.
And you see the clan symbol on the sheath.
Oh yeah. Right there in the center?
Yeah. So it's all throughout the sheath. And then this is the katana. The katana is what the samurais carry.
Yeah.
This is 500 plus year old Japan.
Damn.
The clan symbol on the Tatsuba, which is the handle.
Yeah. That's beautiful, man.
The Washitashi, which is the shorter sword of the katana.
Yeah.
And Miyamoto Musashi, that Ronin, he mastered in the art of dual swords on Heaven and Earth, is what he called his form of Ishiru, right? Heaven and Earth. So it was really cool that when Kiko designed my Washitashis, he labeled it Heaven and Earth.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. And that's definitely the best piece of gear someone's picked on the show so far. Let's dig into the fun stuff. The most dangerous situation that I know you in a career you have several. Whether
I was about to say in a fight with my wife.
yeah, we have several depending on the era. What about helicopters versus fixed wing?
Yeah. I had a couple stall in mid-flight and at the nighttime in Afghanistan, which is definitely scary. It's like, okay, now we're gonna die in this,
right?
But
that's that. I always bring up the whistling shit cans of death.
Yeah,
right? That's helicopters.
There's 46s, dude.
Right.
Dude,
What's
did you
wrong?
just die?
Yeah, you know where mine
This is
was.
Spec Ops bird, man. What are these techs doing?
What is going on?
Freaking mechanics.
Yeah, we had one. It was a training gig, and it was a 47. And
I'm sorry, 47. That's what I said.
47. And it was the Chocolate Mountains in Nevada, right? And it was at Fallon. I forgot what the hell we were doing out there. And we were flying to come back one night, and the pilots couldn't get over the mountain range because of the winds. So it would come up, and I mean, you're looking down, you can see the top of a mountain, you know the deal, 5 feet away.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it was pushing into the wind and would not get over the mountain. So he would turn left, bank right. And of course the winds would catch those props and push you down. It was like this, it was the craziest roller coaster. Yeah.
Dude.
And then he would try again. And we're over comms going, are we at the lowest point? I mean, what are you doing? You aiming for the highest?
Are you a pilot?
And anyway, we finally got over that night. But all you're thinking about, well, if we run out of gas,
we're going to use the wheels and just kind of off-road this over the mountaintop real quick.
Yeah. We were debating. It was like, okay, we're just going to camp. He's going to land and we're going to camp out and wait for the winds to die down. It's like, it was insane. But it was those moments on helicopters when you think, oh,
I'd probably support that decision.
Now we're going to die.
We'll just go to sleep. It's fine.
I just land and camp out. It's us.
I've got food.
That's right. All right. So then you get into the teams, and then you ended up on the East Coast?
Team 2. Yep.
Team 2.
Team 2, baby.
That's like the Team 1 of the East Coast, which for those of you who don't know, like Team 1 was called like Stalingrad or Stalin 1 or something. Instead of SEAL Team 1, it was Stalin Team 1 because they were actually big on military bearing and all kinds of
back in
stuff.
the day. I think they both were.
Yeah, so Team 2 had a reputation of that very hardcore, disciplined group of guys.
Yes, they did.
Meanwhile, I was at Team 3, which was kind of middle ground, and Team 5 was like more of, hey, let's go surfing.
Right.
You know, flip-flops and have fun and party, and was more of the laid-back team.
As long as you do your job.
That's right.
As long as you can do your job.
Yeah. And so now your experience at Team 2, was it what you thought it was going to be?
It was cool. The people are, I mean, I was kind of like nervous, obviously, being the new guy, but dudes were cool. I mean, there's a little bit of like, hey, new guy. I mean, what you'd expect, but no, it was awesome, man. What I thought the op tempo would be a little different, to be honest with you, and especially with what was going on, but it really wasn't.
Yeah.
I guess I thought it would be more high speed than it was. And the only reason why I can say that now is going to, development group and then kind of comparing the two. But I mean, dude, it was awesome. Like, learned so much there. Learned so much. The people that I got to work with, freaking awesome. And my troop chief and my troop commander, troop chief and my platoon chief were both ex-Damnet guys that came over.
Oh, awesome.
So I this is awesome. So it was like CQC all the time. This is great. So I was ready for green team. Really. I was ready to go.
No, it's good to have mentors like that.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
My biggest mentor when I first showed up was Master Chief. Well, he was a senior chief at the time, Senior Chief Mike Martin. He was tattooed from, the back of his ear all the way down literally to his big toe. And he owned a tattoo shop in IB. He was a Vietnam guy. And I mean, it was the Vietnam guys that held that rogue maverick fuck you mentality for the SEAL teams. Why we don't do what all the other special operations guys do. Right. It was set by Vietnam guys. And so those were my mentors and
experience.
And then we saw with like the Eddie Gallagher story where that shift, like Eddie Gallagher is an old school mentality guy. Right. And then he found himself surrounded by a whole bunch of like these, whatever, the newer version, whatever's going on in the SEAL teams. I don't know.
The politically correct kind?
Right. Yeah. Or something. And, and then he found himself, in fucking prison or whatever. That's a whole other story, but I'm just kind of highlighting that there is the old school mentality versus now I think what's going on is like this new school thing. And do you feel like the teams started to change as you got out?
I mean, yeah, I know when I was getting out, it started to get more political. I mean, as the wars were going on, Afghanistan, Iraq were kicking off, and then sporadic stuff around the globe, it was work-based. Yeah. Like, operation, what do you need? I don't care what you're wearing. Just do your job. Be here, ready to go. Got your gun. Let's go. And then that started kind of as we were pulling out and op tempo slowed down, we're taking on a new role, trying to get the Afghanis, Iraqis to do their own stuff in their country, which they should. Yeah. It got more political. And then like, where's your colored shirt? Why haven't you shaved? Yeah. Like dumb shit. Like, what does that mean? What does that matter?
Oh, yeah.
What does that matter? Like, we're in our own little world here. Like, we're doing our job, and it's just, and I get presentation and military bear and all that crap. I get that, but that's not the way it was. There is that shift for sure when the political kind of comes in, and I didn't like that. I was getting out like right at that time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And like I talked to guys that are still there. They're like, dude, you got out at the perfect time because the wars were dying. Like it was dying. Like it's not. They were still doing some cool stuff, but it wasn't. The op tempo wasn't the same. Right. I mean, you on deployment. You're going to this country or that country, and you're getting it on. That was it. Yeah. And it's DAs. Everyone loves direct action. Right. It's like the Hollywood op, right?
Yeah. Who said it best? Olson or one of our admirals said, what used to be the operation of a decade became an operation every night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Because that was never.
Because back in the day,
surveillance.
Some guy got to go, one group of guys in the entire SEAL community got to do something cool every now and then.
Yep.
And then before you know it, all SEALs are doing cool shit every night.
Everyone's a combat veteran.
Right.
Going, say, from SEAL Team 1, it was very highly disciplined SEAL team. Training was very strong, very effective. I went to war at SEAL Team 1, loved it, learned a lot there, and that qualified me and caused me to perform very well in selection for the Tier 1 level at Dev Group. So I've got nothing but respect there, but the budgets are so radically different. You're talking a budget that's larger at a Tier 1 unit than all the other SEAL teams combined.
Right.
As far as annual budget. So there's no comparison. Instead of having, one support person for every 10 or 15 operators and the team, you've got 5 support personnel for every operator.
Yeah.
It's a radically different environment. So you're given a lot more responsibility and no excuse for failure. Basically, anything that you think you need as an operator to prepare for an operation can be made available to you if within reason. But I mean, it's pretty big stuff.
Yeah.
You have no excuse for failure. It's on you. Big boy rules. And the physical demands are greater. The responsibilities inherently larger. And so going from what I call a regular SEAL team, from SEAL Team 1 to Dev Group, riding around in a 6x, an old Vietnam era 6x, is one thing, or in a minivan, or you're riding around in nice rental cars because you've got sniper rifles that will only fit in certain trunks, and you have to be able to lock them up at certain places, and you're staying in hotel rooms instead of barracks on bases. Yeah. It's just a different budget, and you're able to live differently. It's much more of a civilian life, only you're doing super crazy spec ops stuff at night. You're going to jump out of something at 35,000 feet in one case with the full combat equipment and O2 and all that kind of stuff. And it's a different life. It's a lot greater stress and responsibility, but the assets are overwhelming. And it's like reading a novel, like a crazy adventure novel. And you're looking at each other going, my God, we're living this. I mean, this is our lives. If only people knew. And so you just, if you have discipline about you, you don't ever write about it, and you just file that away and like, okay, we had a heck of a life here, man. Let's make sure we got good health care afterward and try to make the best of the years that are left, right? And have some fun with it. So
you're listening to Can You Survive This podcast? Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and share on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows.